All right. Since it's 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to the special called City Council meeting for tonight, September 29th, 2025. If you would, please stand for the pledge and invocation with me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please bow your heads. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for waking us up and the opportunity to serve our constituents here in Lake City, Lord. Thank you for the beautiful day that you set before us, and please set many more before us. And Lord, please guide us in making wise decisions tonight. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Jernigan?
Present.
Councilmember Harris? Present. Councilmember Young? Councilmember Carter?
Present.
Mayor Walker?
Here.
City Manager Rosenthal?
Here.
City Attorney Martin?
Here.
Chief Butler?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Lake City Council has opened its public meeting. Since 1968, the City Code has prohibited any person from making personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the City Council. Yelling or making audible comments from the audience constitutes boisterous conduct. Such conduct will not be tolerated. There is only one approved manner of addressing the City Council, and that's to be recognized and then speak from the podium. Failure to abide by the rules of decorum will result in removal from the meeting. We'll now move on to approval of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, move to approve the agenda.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, like sign? All right. Now we'll move on to public participation. Is there something in the basket, Steve? Okay. So we don't have anybody signed up for public participation currently. So we will move on into the presentations.
I think Billy Joe is going to start us off.
Billy Joe, you're currently muted. All right. Mr. Rosenthal,
Okay.
Somebody?
Brenda?
Good afternoon. So the city engaged Gallagher to solicit and compare quotes for the renewal of its property and casualty insurance program. Quotes were obtained from 3 carriers, including our current provider, FMIT. All quotes represent significant premium reductions compared to expiring cost. We have Justin Terry here with Gallagher to give us the review of the quotes we obtained.
Thank you, Brenda. Mr. Terry?
Thank you. So, thank y'all for the opportunity, and I'm excited about what we're presenting. We were here in April, and I think y'all may remember the kind of the philosophy was we believed there was real opportunity to improve your insurance program and cost structure, and there was multiple steps in the process. We're kind of here completing what I would call step one, and step one was to create a competitive evaluation of your options. And what we've achieved, as you've seen in the packet, is 3 options from 3 different carriers, which all represent 20 to 30% savings compared to what you had it expiring. And Gary Smith is on the phone, and I hope we'll be able to hear him, but he is the technical expert that went through the detailed comparative analysis of the options. And depending on where the dialogue goes, we may call upon him for some of the, if we get deep into the technical section. But at a high level, we have evaluated the 3 options. We have an expiring option, what we know you had in the past. And then we have the renewal option we have from FMIT. We have a renewal option, an offer from PGIT, and then an option from public risk managers as well. So we've looked at all 3 options and done a fairly heavy analysis of the options. We've made some modest improvements to the insurance program, and we've seen substantial reductions in cost. Those reductions in cost range from kind of a low of about $440,000 to a high of about $625,000 compared to what you had at expiring. So that's kind of a high-level summary. I know you've got a series of documents that initially we were just going to kind of provide a high-level summary of the comparison, and then there was some requests for the full documentation. So I think you have several hundred pages of detail, and we're here to answer questions or talk about the options and or talk about how you kind of evaluate making decisions and going forward. I don't know if we get
Questions for Mr. Terry? Or does anybody have, yeah.
I was just going to point out, Mr. Mayor, that Billy Joe is no longer muted if she has something to add as well.
Billy Joe?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me? Okay. No, I appreciate Justin and coming in, Brenda opening up for us. I don't want to reiterate what Justin just said. They've done a lot of work on this, like he said back in April. And the three main groups that came to the table here are the top three in the state that would work with us. And he may get into the process of the bidding processes. It is quite a bit different than if our procurement department were to go out to bid for something, but they're going to cover in detail, and then they're going to let you guys ask questions so can clarify any questions that you might have. And then I'm also here for the duration if we have questions.
Yeah, so maybe going through the process would be helpful. Yeah. So as we articulated back in April, it's not typical that any organization, any business entity, or any municipality would have the resources and skill set to manage an insurance RFP process effectively. We certainly wouldn't expect you to. That's what we do. That's kind of why we have a business. And so what we did is we worked with the city staff to build submissions to each of the three carriers that we see proposals from. And we worked to clean data up and to improve kind of the data quality some. And then we submitted it to each of the three insurance carriers represented. We worked with each of those underwriters to build an underwriting analysis. Each of them had questions. We fielded questions and dialogue, and worked through that process over a couple month window. The reality was that all three were very interested in your business, and y'all run a good municipality, and there was a lot of interest from all three of the major trusts. We obtained quotes that started coming in I would say late August or early September. And there was a little bit of, y'all haven't gone through this process before, not in some time. And there was a little bit of confusion about kind of how the process needed to work and what the final decisions, who had the ability to make final decisions. And so as a result, we continued to work the process under guidance, thinking that it was a staff decision. So that proved to be inaccurate. But we learned from that, and we'll be better off with you going forward. But we got quotes. The first quote came in from PRM. The second one came in from Pidgeot, and the third one from the Florida League or FMIT. And we didn't share any information with any of the competitors. We basically just brought in their quotes, worked to get those quotes as good as we could get them, and then presented them the way that we received them to the city. We analyzed the quotes. We did a lot of detailed analysis, and Gary, who's on the phone, led that detailed analysis. We put that together into an executive summary, and we presented that to the city, to Billy Joe, and then to the city staff, and we talked about kind of the pros and cons of each option. At the end of that process, for a variety of reasons, the option that seemed to make the most sense at that time was Pidgeot, and it was both the lowest cost alternative and it had slightly better overall coverage terms. Now, at the end of the day, we don't have any dog in the fight, and we don't care where y'all decide to take the insurance. But we're here to support whatever's best for you. You could choose any of the three options or something else, and we're indifferent. We're agnostic. We're here on your behalf, and we were here to lead the process and try to get the best result we could. That give you,
Mr. Carter, you have a question?
So, I myself and I think the entire council and probably management staff got an email from Mr. Connolly from the FMIT, basically stating that they'd be happy to match the bid of the other one there, and that perhaps in part of the process, it seems like maybe if it were us doing it as opposed to hiring an outside firm to do it, there would have been an option for our existing firm to offer to match that. So we've been working with FMIT for I think well over 20 years, and multiple charter officers I've talked to have given me the impression that there's a lot of value, and I agree in the kind of the institutional buildup with the legal teams that we've been working with through there and things like that. Is it your professional opinion that if we're getting the same price and very similar, if not eventually the same service, would it not behoove us to stick with the team that we've been working with?
Yeah, I mean, I can see two sides to that, and I'm indifferent. But what I'll say is both sides. One side is, yes, there is. We work with organizations who change insurance carriers on a regular basis. A 20-year relationship is very unique, and there can be great institutional knowledge and great value in that. And there can be operational disruptions to making a change, and we respect that, and we understand that being the case. Mm-hmm. And we were brought in to create a competitive environment. Sure. And one of my concerns is that if you do take that type of action, would it enhance or reduce the ability to create a competitive environment in the future? And so we chose not to. I mean, theoretically, we could have done something like that, and anybody probably would have reacted. But what we decided to do is it wasn't our call. We decided just to present the options as we received them. Sure. And certainly that's within your bandwidth. And I don't think there's a wrong option there. I think it's a matter of what y'all as leaders think is best for the city, and we support whatever you choose.
Thank you,
Mr. Jernigan.
Two things. Miss Billy Joe, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you and the administration going out and, getting this, this competitive relationship with these other firms or whatever. What I would like to know is we have been with a company for 20-something years or whatever, and in the beginning, they decided to, whatever they decided to do, go higher, go lower, meet the criteria, whatever the case may be. But when we come to the decision of selecting another firm, of course, that's when the other firm comes in and say, hey, we can match that or we'll beat that. I don't think that's good business. And again, this is an opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's good business. If you wanted to be competitive, we shouldn't be in this situation. We shouldn't be having this meeting tonight. All you had to do is be competitive, and then we would have still had the insurance come tomorrow or next year, 26, 27, however many years we're going to go for them. But anyway, I just think that it was a little bit. I don't know the exact word that I want to use, but I just think that in the beginning, they should have did exactly what we went out to get a bid on. Then that way we wouldn't be in this situation. Do you agree or disagree with that? Am I hitting the nail on the head or somewhere close to it?
Mr. Jernigan, could I address that? Mr.
Go ahead,
Jernigan,
Billy Jo,
can
yeah.
I address that? Okay, so when I came on board with the city of Lake City a couple of years ago, the first thing I wanted to do was look at our health insurance. So we got that taken care of, and we helped save the city a lot of money. And so when I was talking to our finance director, every year FMIT has come back in significant increases over and over and over again. And so talking to Gallagher, because they were already helping us with our insurance and you all graciously approved hiring them for this process, when they went out to get these quotes, they asked for their best quote. They said, give us your best. That the numbers that they gave us was supposed to be their best. And I did send Mr. Connolly the information. He asked for it last week. He was sent all of this. Well, I sent him the link. I sent him the link to the clerk's office sends out so that he could view what everybody else was doing. And they haven't reached out to me. I wasn't aware that they did that. But now they're saying they can meet that. So that is disheartening to me. I wish they would have done that up front. But again, that is you all's decision, not mine. We just went out, got Gallagher to get everybody's best together and do the hard work behind the scenes so that you all can make your best educated decision.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Billy Joe. I just want you to know that I totally agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I think you did an excellent job, you and procurement, to go out and get this. So especially if it's going to save the staff that we have here on their insurance. With everything going the way it's going right now, this is a no-brainer for me. But maybe some people feel like, let's stick with the old. But I don't believe in that. Let's get with the new and then start from there. I think that's an excellent idea that you guys come up with. So again, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you as one of your councils with the job that you're doing. So just keep up the good work, okay?
Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Harris, you had something?
My question is, you did the research on all of the companies, including the one that we currently are under, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the one that we were under it for 20+ years. When you was doing the research, did it look like we was getting a better deal then in the previous years, or? I just heard Billy Joe said that it was going up. Am I correct, Billy Joe?
Yes, ma'am.
The cost. And so now
Yes.
when competition comes in, all of a sudden they want to meet what they're offering, not meet it, but just to meet it.
Yeah, the meat is news to me. I've not heard the meat. I mean, we didn't share anybody's numbers, so they didn't know until it became public record what anybody else's competitive numbers were. And if that email went to y'all, it didn't come to us, or it didn't come to me. So I couldn't articulate what the offer was. The reduction from last year to this year from the incumbent carrier proposed was $525,964.
And so they're now talking about going down to what?
Roughly another $100,000 down would be
Down.
what I ascertained from what Mr. Carter shared
So
from the email.
if they could go down 100,000, that means they could have did that previous, like, right? When they thought there were no competition. I mean, look,
Yeah, I couldn't speak to their position on that.
But-
I hear you.
yeah, but, so if, I'm just going by what Billy Joe is saying, and this is my first time being in insurance, but I like to know where my money being spent at, and if you could have been giving us a good deal from the beginning, or have been given good deals previous years, why, when competition come along, you want to now at least meet them, not beat them, but meet them? So that would be my thing about it. I have questions about that because it just seems like all of a sudden there's competition and now we're gonna, oh my goodness, let's at least meet them. No, if they don't beat them, I don't think that we should keep them.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Volumes.
Councilman Carter.
If I could just address some of the line of thinking in this conversation, some of it's our fault, in my opinion. If we don't, I mean, I sell for a living and have for almost 20 years. Everything has a price, and if you've ever sold anything, you set a price. It doesn't mean that you couldn't live with selling it for a lower price, but you got to set a price somewhere. If we didn't ask for a discount, rest assured, if we hire PGIT instead of FMIT, at some point they're going to increase prices too. Everyone's going to. You do it on some sort of a graduated scale all across the board. Now, if you have a big client and they say, listen, I'm going to get competitive, I'm going to look for other things, well, then you find ways you can cut elsewhere to cut here to keep this. I mean, that's just capitalism, and I'm not against anybody making money. So if we ain't asking for a better price and we accept it every time, that's on us. That's not on them. Their job is to make money. A business in a capitalist society does one thing: make money. So if we're not willing to go, hey, I'm not willing to pay more than this, or if we haven't bothered doing that, it's not on them to go, hey, we'd like to make less money.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Like, so how competition is the name of the game. If we, and to be clear, what I've learned in this process, and I talked to the city manager about it a little bit, and I hope we can talk about it more, is going back and looking at a lot of contracts we have. Because if we can go, hey, I think I don't want to pay this anymore. I'd like to see if someone else will do it for less on this, and we can get $500,000 less. There may be a handful of other places in the government that we might be able to reduce our costs as well. So all that being said, I don't think that the insurance carrier we've had has wronged us by not offering to make less money. And if you're not going to be competitive with the way you spend your money, you being us, then you pay what is asked to be paid. You know what I mean? So I think it's nice. I think it's a positive thing that they are willing. They want our business enough to make significantly less money to keep it. And that in and of itself is meaningful also. I don't think we were slighted is all I'm getting at here.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Young.
sir, thank you. A few things, and I believe correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I heard Ms. BJ say she reached out to them and they didn't give a reduction? Okay, I think I heard that. And the making money, that is business, making money, but it's also business to keep faithful customers. And 20-something years, and you haven't gotten, we appreciate you so much. You've been with us so long, so we're gonna reduce your costs. That would be great. That would have been greatly appreciated, rather than now, you see that the interest is somewhere else. So now you've been good customers, so we'll match it or we'll lower it. I concur with Jernigan and Harris.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Ms. Harris, did you have something else?
I do agree with, of course, their job was not to go and find a cheaper version of insurance, but their job was to keep a job. And if you want to keep a job, you would do what is necessary in order to keep that person. Just like Vice Mayor said, if you were happy and we were a faithful customer, it just seemed like you would try to make us happy at the end of the day by letting us know.
Mr. Jernigan, something else?
Yeah, I haven't given you a chance to talk yet. I apologize. And again, and just like Mr. Carter was saying, we have to, look into all of our contracts. But all of our contracts are not up at this point when it comes to health insurance and keeping our staff safe. So this is an important entity, in my opinion, that they should have been talking to us about that, because we're a big company, we're big access to the when it comes to insurance. So
Mr. Jernigan, if I could say something real quick, this is for property and casualty insurance, not health insurance.
Yes,
This is all of our liability insurance.
Yes, I apologize for that. When I think of insurance, I'm thinking of everything. So
Yes, sir.
I just know that this is we had to go out, we had to get it, had to look for it, had to search, and nobody is really like informing us of anything. But we have people to go out there and get these bids and do a very, very good job in doing it. So I think we should consider moving from one to the other, no matter how long we've had them. I think we should consider this other entity, in my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Mr. Carter, one more thing.
A quick thing, and obviously, Mr. Mayor, I apologize for talking so much. I know you haven't had a chance to share your opinion either. But I do know that of the two companies that we're looking at here, I don't know that anyone is here from PGIT, but Mr. Connolly, who I've referred to the email of, is in the audience. I don't know if he has any interest in answering any of the questions that we've talked about or sharing any thoughts on that.
I actually, before...
And I don't know if this is the time either. Obviously.
Yeah, we'll have you come up in a little bit. But I actually had some questions on the process, because we talked about the process, and then we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the actual comparison, right? So the process, and I've got some gripes with it that I'll share more toward the end. But in the timing that bids were put out, was that consistent across all three of the purveyors, right? Okay. And then as far as any second shots, there were no second shots.
No second shots. You got it the way we received it.
Okay. Those are the only questions I had about that part of the process. Ms. Young?
With the offer from the existing company, do we have anything in writing, or is this just what they're saying?
It was an email to the board, I believe, on Friday.
So we haven't seen the item itemized. We haven't seen the numbers in writing. We've only seen a written statement that says that we can get it for a certain cost for the $425.9.
It was matching. I'd have to,
Right.
and I'll have to put this in. I'll read it. Dear Mayor Walker, I have been advised that your consultants intend to recommend contracting with Preferred Government Insurance Trust to provide insurance coverage for your city for the 2025-2026 policy year. Had this been normal competitive bidding process, the proposal for the Florida League of Cities would have reserved the right to match any bid received. However, since the council chose to pay a third party to shop the market for you, league representatives did not have the opportunity to submit a formal proposal. Instead, we provided responses to inquiries from your broker, which were presumably the basis of the recommendation. We will match the pricing you received from PGIT. We have enjoyed the long relationship between FLC, FMIT, and the City of Lake City. We look forward to continuing to serve you. This information is provided for your consideration at your meeting on Monday. I will be in attendance to further discuss the league's pricing and answer any questions that you and staff may have. Yours truly, Tom Conley, and he's here tonight. What I would like is for that comparison, and then if anybody has any questions for Mr. Conley, and to speak after that, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Does that work for the council? Sound good?
I have one more quick question for Gallagher. When these companies are approached and asked for their quotes and best prices, were they given a list of circumstances, or were they told specifically who it was? For instance, when FMIT was asked, did they know that they were giving a quote for Lake City specifically?
Yes, they. I assume they knew it was specific for Lake City. Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay.
If I could also make a quick comment, this is Gary with Gallagher. I just want to point out that Pidgeot had offered to be present, and we were told to tell them that since they were not invited, they should not be present. So we've been trying to keep this as objective through the whole process. And I think if one has a chance to talk, they should all have a chance to talk.
Sure, I agree. Who told you that?
Well, when we spoke to Billy Joe, she said that none of the carriers are being invited to the presentation. So we said, okay, because Pidgeot had asked us specifically, they were ready to drive up there, both their two key people, their marketing and their head of underwriting. And so we told them that nobody was being invited, so they should not attend.
Mayor, if I may, I think Billy Joe was on the impression that none of them would be here.
Sure.
That's my understanding.
We didn't explicitly invite anybody to this meeting, Gary, but as it's open public forum, anybody can come for any of these meetings. And if the topic is relevant, if the topic's relevant and we have questions, we may wish to hear from them. Yes, Mr. Carter.
Mr. Mayor, too, I'd like to just point this out, and not even about this specifically, but in general, and so staff knows. And I think we've heard enough times from other members of the council, and again, as a salesperson in this position, this is how I would look at it. Anytime anybody wants to get paid lots of money for anything by the city, if they can come, they really ought to. And I want to speak to as few people as possible in as few instances as possible via Zoom. Most of the time, these are groups that we've paid a lot of money for, for instance, and again, this is not just this, but just to be clear, when we're doing anything like this, if staff has any questions on that, at least my position is, if at all possible, please be in person to answer any questions that we have. I feel very strongly about that, especially if we may be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars.
100%. Mr. Jernigan?
Oh, yes, and I totally agree with that. I don't care if it's $100,000 or it's $10. If you want something from the city, I think that you should come up, because I'm going to question you when it comes down to this spending the city's funds, these constituents' funds. I will question you. It doesn't matter who comes up there. It's all about business. You come up there, you want something, come up there and you state your case, or whatever the case may be. That's important to me. And just like Mr. Carter, he's in agreement with that as well. And all these, I like it when they can go Zoom and all this good stuff. Technology is something else, but when you come up here in person, you get a chance to talk to me and the other councils about whatever you're trying to get done by the city. So you should always be here, in my opinion. So I'm in agreement with the mayor.
So I will take full responsibility for that. I did not realize that they all needed to be here, or I would have sent out an invite for all of them. And as all of you know, this was a last minute meeting because of some hiccups that went through this. I would have made sure that they were all here. And I didn't know Mr. Connolly was coming, or I would have immediately sent out an invite to the other two groups as well.
Ms. Harris?
My thing of it is, you know, I just got on the council this year, and I have noticed that there have been, not only in this instance, but in other instances, whereas the council either did not know about a certain thing, and if different individuals have made decisions that should have come by the council. So I'm gonna put it out today. For now on out, anything, especially when it comes to money, it needs to come by the council, because I do not want to be sitting up here like they were in the Mr. Dow's case, whereas somebody else made a decision and then the council is the one that's looking bad. So for now on out, if you are dealing with any monies and it has to come to the council, bring it to the council. Nobody has permission to go past the council when it comes to spending the city's money.
100%. All right. I guess while we're on that, so I'll share my gripe with this process before we move on to the next phase. The process originated back in April when Gallagher came and presented. It was somewhat of a rushed piggyback because we needed to get the contract in place so that you guys would have 90 days to not back us into a 2 days before premium answer, right? Yep. And that's where we are. We're here on a special session on a Monday night, 2 days before the premium is due to put insurance in place. And the rushed nature of it by staff leads to a feeling of impropriety from my seat. Mm-hmm. And I do not appreciate that in the slightest. And for this council to be put into a corner to make a decision in that short a time does not need to happen again. If RFPs need to go out 90 days or 120 days before that decision needs to be made, it needs to happen so that we can have well-informed decisions, offer feedback, have a responsible presentation, and then make our decision after that. That's all. That is my gripe with this process. And I had that gripe in April when it came up 2 weeks before that, or less than 2 weeks before that meeting, and then we had your presentation in order to have good timing so that this wouldn't happen, and then here we are with this happening. So that's all I have to say about the process. If anybody else has anything to share about the process and how this has gone, then we'll go into the semantics of the actual proposal.
Mr. Mayor, I have one more question.
Yes.
So understanding that our current coverage expires and we would have a lapse, I believe, in a day or two. Truly, this specific aspect of it, I have no idea how it works. Is there a way? Because truly, first of all, I would love for someone from PGIT to be able to be here also. That it absolutely does feel fair. And going into this meeting, I was thinking, gosh, this really feels like something that could turn into a conversation that may need a second meeting. But again, like you said, put into a position where it didn't feel like we could do that. Mm-hmm. Is there any sort of extension possibilities for our current coverage? I don't know how that works. Obviously, I've never seen it happen, so that we would be allowed. And if not, I mean, it is what it is. We have to make a decision tonight. We do, but if there's an option out there like that, I think it would be nice.
I'd have to staff or
staff actually looked into that. We checked to see if was any options. We were told that there were no options.
Okay.
Very good.
I would say that. I mean, I'm not going to say there are no options. I'm going to say it's got some complexities. And the reality is it's a 12-month contract, and you've got good options on all sides. I'm not sure that the complexities would be worth the process of trying to extend for 30 days or 60 days and make more game. You could. Anything's possible. I mean, I guess, sure. It wouldn't be impossible. I would just say it wouldn't be a very typical consideration under the circumstances.
I would suggest that if we were to do that, that would really indicate to people looking that there was some type of impropriety. because we made it overly complicated. We've had one issue where we didn't really process the whole thing like we should have, and we certainly acknowledge that. I certainly take responsibility for the whole thing. I'm your city manager, and we don't think that'll ever happen again, but it happened this time, and this is the consequences. The consequences are unpleasant, but I think we're at a position where we need to make a decision tonight.
Yeah. So let me backtrack something that I said. I said it feels like impropriety from my seat, but it's because we were backed into two rushed decisions,
Absolutely, Mayor.
and that's irresponsible from my vantage point. So let's get into the semantics of the comparison.
Phil, are you able to pull that executive summary document? And I don't know if the people on the virtual call will be able to see this or not. Phil was not sure about that. Gary, are you able to? Well, we're not. He's actually pulling it up. Hang on a second, Gary. So if you could scroll down, this is an outline of kind of the overall. This is kind of an overview of the process, basically. And this is where we get into a comparison at a high level of the coverages. Really, this is the pricing structure. And so what you can see is you have three options: FMIT, Pidgeot, and PRM. And at the end of the day, the total premiums with increased limits, there were some minor limits we increased to try to get all the coverages to be kind of apples to apples in terms of coverage limits and to improve some things. You can see the pricing there: $1,220,000, $1,121,000, $1,305,000. And then we compared that to kind of the savings compared to the expiring on the next line down. That was 525, 625, 440. And then just for true numbers' sake, we added back our fee because you didn't pay a fee last year to a broker for the process. And then you can see kind of what that total cost was. And then that total cost with the broker fee that wasn't there last year is compared to the expiring, and that generates the savings. And so what that does is shows you the just really the hard dollar amounts. That's not going deep into the comparison of coverages. That'll follow. But then there was some concern, reasonable concern that we had that you know, is somebody buying this business for 1 year and going to raise the price up substantially the second year? So one of the things we did is we asked each provider, would they provide a 2-year rate lock? And we were able to get that. And so we've got kind of 2-year rate certainty. And there's nothing that's absolutely certain. Obviously, if y'all buy another building, other things change. But we have some rate certainty. And then we were able to just look at, you can't pick and choose. You couldn't choose work comp with one carrier, liability with another carrier, property with another. So the pricing is kind of a holistic pricing structure with a package structure. And so you might see that there's some pricing differences between the carriers on different lines, but you can't pick and choose. It's not kind of cafeteria style. It's kind of all one structure. So that's an overview of the premium. And Gary, did I miss anything in that page that you'd like to add? I don't know if he can hear us and see us.
No, Justin. No, nothing
All good.
there.
Okay. So that's where we went there. And now, Phil, if you could scroll to the next page. These are the subjectivities. Let's move through these. We would work through these with the city staff. I don't think it's something that would be relevant to the council to consider. But if you could go to the next page, Phil. And this is where we basically, the PRM structure, the third option really wasn't competitive in any meaningful way. It wasn't price competitive, and it wasn't coverage competitive. So to make it simpler, we just did a full analysis of the two most competitive options, the FMIT option and the Pidgeot option. And this is the high-level summary, and even the high-level summary is unfortunately 7 or 8 pages. There's a lot of detail that goes into this business, and the devil is in the details. We went through and we did kind of a line-by-line analysis of every specific item in the coverage. And at the executive summary, we just tried to compare the things that were different. And what we did do, too, Gary did this, is he didn't share anybody's competitive terms with another competitor, but when he did his analysis of FMIT as an example, he sent what we analyzed to Tom, so Tom could read it and say, is this fairly representing the depth of our quote? And then for Pidgeot, he took Pidgeot's analysis, the line item of that analysis, and sent it back to the Pidgeot team and said, is this fairly representing everything that you provided to us? So we didn't want there to be a misinterpretation and a frustration on anybody's side. We want to do a fair job for everybody representing what they delivered. And so that's the outcome of this process. And I don't know if y'all want to go line by line. It seems like that would be a lot for the council tonight, but we're happy to take you wherever you want to go. And we can, and Gary's a super detailed guy, and he could take you through every line and every part of the analysis.
I'd just say give us a broad overview in terms of comparison of the terms, which you just did a fair amount of that. But when looking through the executive summary, you can see that one carrier is offering a little more tangible. Can you characterize that? 2 words, two sentence.
Yeah, our view was that there were slight differences in terms of coverage that favored Pidgeot. It wasn't. There's nothing drastic, and they're all very comparable options. And I think if you go out and look at 2 brands of cars, they all have slightly different features or options. At the end of the day, they'll both get you there 99% of the time in a pretty comfortable fashion. And I think that's kind of my high-level characterization. The Pidgeot option had a few additional tweaks, but I mean the price difference was the major difference.
Finally, so Clay, this will be a question for you because I know I went back and watched the original presentation and some of the discussion. We had some concerns over provided counsel on issues. Did you look through have you been able to look through the 2 lists from PGIT and FLC, and are you comfortable with your legal teams that you'd be working with on issues?
For the liability defense?
Yes.
Either we could work with.
Okay.
At the end of the day, I'm familiar with several of the firms that are on each of the lists, and they would provide representation to the city that would be commendable and meet our needs.
Does anybody else have any questions on this?
Yes, I do, Mayor. I think it was several meetings back, and I said we all need to work together as a team instead of pointing fingers. This one did this did that. Oh, I don't want to have this happen again. I point fingers at this person. That is a no-go with me. Nobody did. If anybody did anything wrong, I did it. Point the finger at me. Don't point the finger at this person. We can't have this kind of quick response or turnaround time, and we can't do this. We can do anything that we want to do. So don't point a finger at 1 or 2 people. I heard the city manager say, "It's always my fault. I'm the city manager. It won't happen again." If everybody on this council and the lawyer here, we got Ms. Sykes and her team. If everybody on this council work together and start trying to figure out who's doing this wrong or who did that wrong, we would be better off. So we can't point a finger at one particular person or individual. None of us know everything, but please don't point the finger and say we can't allow this to happen again. That none of us want to do anything wrong. We always want to do it right, I would think. And this is 2 firms, whether we choose one or the other or all 3 of them, or whatever the case may be. I think the timing is right there. So let's not point fingers. Let's do what we got to do tonight, and we learn from this. If you don't ever make the mistakes, you can't learn. So we're going to learn from this and move forward. That's the way I look at it.
I agree with you. If it's a comment on what I said, I stand behind what I said. This process has been moving in this direction for a long time, based on the public records that I pulled, and we are currently 2 days before a premium closeout. Right. So I'll reiterate. It's an unacceptable way to be backed into a vote. Yes, sir, Mr. Carter.
First of all, I'd like to say that I agree. I mean, it's literally our job to hold the charter officers accountable. That's literally what we're supposed to be doing here. So there's nothing wrong with saying something, we find something unacceptable, and when we do, we should. My only thought on the overall thing is this. Obviously, I appreciate the concept that Mr. Conley has put forward in the email that he'd be willing to match that thing, and I like the idea of getting a better price, as we all, I think, do. The biggest thing that makes me nervous about the idea of switching is that, you know, one has been with us for a long time and has been proven. A few years ago, we were literally attacked by like cyber terrorists, and they had people negotiating with terrorists on our behalf. A lot of our sensitive stuff was stolen and under ransom, and they were able to, you know, I think we put forth like something like $400,000 in Bitcoin to get it back. It cost the city $10,000 premium. You know, it's a proven thing, even in a very strange situation. And then I had a question for Mr. Walker, Mr. Martin. Earlier, I had mentioned my opinion in the value of the institutional knowledge, having lawyers that have literally worked on cases for us for over 20 years, and not just firms, but actual people. Is that something meaningful that you think we should take into consideration when doing this? You'll be working the most closely with them in those cases.
It does make it easier to not have to explain the institutional history to legal counsel whenever they come on board. They are familiar with the city, its history, its leadership history, its claims history, those sorts of things. So, you know, that is something that makes it easier. I would not say that it's something that's insurmountable, but, you know, we always engage new people and have to tell our story, and that would be the case here, but it certainly does make it easier.
Thank you.
Ms. Young?
Easier for who?
That part.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Makes it easier for who?
It makes it easier for everybody that's involved in the litigation, depending on who, you know, the department head may be, which agency's involved, city attorney for sure, but institution-wide, depending on who is engaged in that particular matter, police department, utilities, that sort of thing. There's institutional knowledge about our story.
But it makes it easier for the city attorney. That's pretty much what you want to say.
Sure, it does. I mean, absolutely.
But you get, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
But you get paid, not to make it easier for yourself, but to make it better for the citizens. So the amount of money that the city is paying you, I'm not trying to make your job easy. I'm just really not. And we sit behind this diocese, not just for ourselves, not for our families, but Lake City as a whole. So when we're paying you good money, we expect for you to find the good things for us. So I'm not trying to make your job easier. So if that is your thought that would make us try to either keep this company or what have you, you should have thought of something else different. 'Cause that one is I'm not buying.
Mr. Mayor, but because I asked Mr. Martin the question, to be clear, he said switching would not be something insurmountable. I don't think he has very strong feelings either direction.
Said what he said.
Yes, but again, if the way I understood it, easier is over the last 25 years, the city has been in myriad, I mean, probably dozens and dozens and dozens of lawsuits that the attorneys that we're currently working with have been on the team for, which means they know the ins and outs and everything we've been through over the last nearly 24 years, I think, since we first started using them. The easier part is they're extremely familiar with us, staff, and what we've gone through. I don't think, to be clear, like I asked Mr. Martin the question. I don't think he's lobbying one way or the other. I just asked him if that institutional knowledge is helpful, and anything that makes him be able to do his job faster instead of slower is good for us. Us, not him, us.
No, him doing his job is good.
Well,
for
he
him.
gets paid regardless of the speed
job.
at which he's doing it. To be clear, I mean, he gets paid if he does it in a day or 2 days. He's getting paid the same amount of money. I want to make sure we're all on the same page about what we're talking about. That's all.
Mr. Martin?
To be clear, it's across the board for anyone that's involved in the particular matter, from legal counsel that's representing us from the outside to personnel within City Hall to city attorney, just across the board. Again, not something that, you know, is such an issue that, you know, we can't take it on and conquer it. But, you know, when that first attorney comes on board that doesn't have that familiarity, it'll take a little bit of time to bring them up to speed. And when I say a little bit of time, it may take an hour phone call to, you know, versus, you know, not taking that initial phone call because they know who all the people are that are involved and that sort of thing. So, you know, not nearly as huge an issue as perhaps I made it out to be. But the question was asked, you know, is there value? Is it easier? Yes. I mean, that is the answer.
Ms. Young?
I was just gonna say, we have the attorney here. If there was a statement that he made that need to be cleaned up, I think he's a big boy. He can clean it up. He's the attorney. We're just going off on. Let's just get on with with the business that we have at hand. Because if you got to represent the attorney, that's bad business. Let's just go on with the business that we have at hand so that we can get what needs to be done for the city and move on.
Mr. Jernigan, you have something to say?
Yes, just the other company that we're are you in the other company? Anybody representing them? The one we've been with for about 20 years.
FMIT.
That's what I'm saying. So and you out of Lake City?
I'm in Monticello.
Monticello. Okay.
Offices in Orlando.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Any questions about the substance or the presentation?
One comment I would like to make, this is Gary, is that just for your information, by nobody's fault, it is not uncommon in the insurance industry. Not FMIT, not Pidgeot, not Gallagher, not the city. It is not uncommon for large insurance placements to come down to the wire. So sometimes, even despite best efforts, sometimes it still comes down to right before the renewal. One other comment I'd like to make is either way, there is no damage if there being any gap in coverage. Once a decision is made, the coverage will be put in place effective October 1st with either carrier. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if I could add to that as well, I will say this, our process was delayed about a month. We had a wrench thrown in it where a local insurance person came in and it slowed things down for about a month. Everything was put to a halt, and it did delay it for about a month, maybe a little bit even more than that. So that was a pretty stressful thing when we were already in the process of gathering all the information.
Thank you, Ms. Bible. Mr. Martin.
Can I make one other comment? So I just want to let you know that I received Pidgeot is watching this council meeting, and they had said that they would be happy to call in if you'd like to ask them any questions. I can just share the call-in number with them for the Teams meeting.
Sure. I don't know that we'll get down to questions. Or Mr. Martin, you had something.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time. I had a coverage question.
Yeah.
And if we're there, then.
Yeah, we're talking about the substance of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at page 51 of the packet, and it's the only place that I'm pulling this out. I don't know if it's in the comparison or not, but there's a statement. There's $100,000 of non-monetary coverage for injunctive relief, EEOC, public records, and inverse condemnation allegations. If I understand that to be what it is, effectively that's saying that for legal fees associated with those types of claims, there's a cap of $100,000 in legal fees. Am I reading that correctly? And is that the case for both of the two policies that we've got in front of us, or is that something unique to the quote from Preferred?
So I'm not sure what page 51 is. I'm not sure that I can.
It's the coverage. It's titled Coverage Advantages in the Preferred documents. In our PDF, it is page 51 of our meeting packet.
Okay, let me see. Gary, are you by chance there?
Yes, I'm trying to find that in the document. And I would say that, you know, this is an example of a question that if it's directed toward each of the carriers, they'd probably be happy to chime in also.
It comes right after the work comp defense panel listing in
And what page was that again?
It's page 51 of the PDF packet that was posted online and sent out. It looks like page 9 of the, let's see, what's it called?
If I look at what you're seeing, or am I probably to approach?
Sure, come over here. I
Okay.
can show you. So right there is what I'm looking at.
Phil, is there a way that you can get to that now?
Here, he's looking at the Pidgeot specific, I don't know if that's the quote, probably the public, let's see. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if that went into the comparative, and I don't know how it compares. Tom, I don't know if you have a comment on how that compares.
I can say that if it isn't in the executive summary, then it's the same between the two carriers with no material differences.
All right. And I'm getting a nod from the representative, Mr. Connolly from Florida League of Cities. So,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Does anybody have any questions for for the Pidgeot of the FMIT representatives? Does anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you for the presentation.
Yep.
That concludes the presentation and it brings us into resolution and decision time, one way or the other. So we'll move on to City Council Resolution number 2025-141. Mr. Martin, I'm going to have you read this by title, please.
City Council Resolution number 2025-141, a resolution of the City of Lake City, Florida, approving Preferred Governmental Insurance Trust as the property and casualty insurance carrier for the city commencing October 1st, 2025, making certain findings of fact in support of the city approving said agreement, authorizing the city manager to direct the payment of insurance premiums and support thereof, directing the city manager to take such other actions as are necessary and prudent to finalize such insurance policy, ensuring the city repealing all prior resolutions in conflict and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. This resolution speaks directly to the recommendation of PGIT, correct, Mr. Martin?
Yes, approval of this resolution would approve moving forward with Preferred as the property and casualty insurer per the staff recommendation.
Okay. I don't have anybody signed up for public participation at this point, so we'll move directly into council participation. Does anybody have any comments, questions, remarks?
Which one is the one that we're dealing with right now? Is it?
FMIT, we've had FMIT as a contract for 20 plus years.
Okay, so Pridget is the...
PGIT is the other carrier.
So what if we vote right now on resolution number, we'll be trying to keep the same people, right?
No. We would be voting. It would be voting to take PGIT as a, and as you know, in his due diligence, Mr. Martin also prepared an alternative just in case, as same resolution, just with FMIT as 2025-141A. Okay. So, any other questions, comments?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve City Council Resolution 2025-141A.
We have a motion for the alternate resolution.
Mr. Mayor, the one on the floor that was read was for 141 to approve Pidgeot.
Okay.
So that's currently what's before you and what was read.
Okay. So we have 141 currently. So we're only.
And that is for Pidgeot.
Yep. 141 is for Pidgeot. So that unless this item fails, we can't bring 141A about. Does that make sense? Is that right, Mr. Martin?
That would be the correct procedure, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. So we have a vote on 141 first.
Okay, so I want to be clear because he just said something that we weren't even talking about. If we approve this resolution number 2025-141. That is for Pidgeot.
Yes.
Okay.
PGIT.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to approve resolution number 2025-141.
We have a motion for 2025-141.
Second.
We have a second. All right. Do we have any other comments, questions?
Mr. Mayor, obviously I'm probably just talking to the wind, but I just really would like to urge the rest of the council to reconsider approving this. I think it's a bad idea to leave the team that we've been working with this long. They're willing to match the price. I really think there's a lot of value to that institutional knowledge. And that's all I have to say. This is the exact moment when I'm allowed to say that, so we're not past anything. Thank you.
Ms. Harris?
Mr. Mayor,
Well, you have a motion, a second, and then you have final comments. I haven't called for a vote yet.
you didn't call for final comment either, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
He did. Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment too, Mayor.
Mr. Jernigan?
Don't get me wrong. I think that the company we've had for 20 plus years is a outstanding company. However, I just think that at this point we need to move on to bigger and better things, because it appears that this company is trying to make Lake City great again. So let's continue to move forward. That's just my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Jernigan. Any other comments? All right. Ms. Sykes, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Jernigan?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Carter?
Nay.
Mayor Walker?
No. All right. That's all the items that we have for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for showing up and tuning in. Have a wonderful evening.